The tomb of Ammon is the most important and most beautiful of Jebel el-Mauta. Discovered in 1940 and marked by the unwise hands of the soldiers in Siwa, most of the paintings are damaged or have parts which had been torn apart. This tomb was among the others robbed during the Roman period. Therefore, just a few objects were found during its findings. Many of the mummies which were exposed in 1940 that remained in the tomb were poorly mummified. Even though many of the paintings had been destroyed over the years, they still preserve the touch of the ancient times. The rock in which they are painted together with the plaster and the colors used help to preserve most of its beauty. This fact helps us to believe that the painters were professionals brought from the Nile Valley. The owner of the tomb was a man called Ammon, represented with thick and short black hair and a beard and a light feature. We don't know which title he held or what importance he had, but one thing is clear. He had the economic means to arrange such an amazing burial. Perhaps a landowner or a merchant, we can just speculate about the position of Ammon, the man of Ammon. His features and style have great similarities with the Greeks at that time. His son, which appeared several times in the paintings, is dressed as a Greek boy. This fact makes us believe that Ammon had a Greek origin. If we look at the ceiling when we enter the tomb, we are greeted by Nut, goddess of the sky, represented with the hands above the head pointing to the direction of the chamber. This amazing painting is rounded by stars, which signifies the sky. The face of the goddess was damaged when the tomb was opened. Light brown skin and with a circle around her stomach, which symbolizes the sun, and with the symbol of earth under her feet. The ceiling is the best preserved part of the tomb. The bright colors still have life. Blues and yellows mark the background, which is carefully separated into three-part division. 5 horizontal lines engage the walls. The first painted in yellow, the second in blue. The one next to it is an accurate imitation of wood. Another part is decorated with stars, where the blue and yellow are predominant in the background. We noticed a line of hieroglyphics in the center and along the sides next to a row of falcons and vultures, symbolizing Lower and Upper Egypt simultaneously. In the east part of the wall we find Mut, the goddess in line with Amon-Ra, and Hathor, holding a falcon-headed deity which is believed to represent the god Dumatuf. The goddess Nut, which is represented several times in the tomb, appears here beside a sycamore tree. In one hand she holds a tray of bread and incense. In the other she holds a vase which is pouring water into a pond. The water leaves a trace of the signs of life while she falls down from the vase. Ammon is portrayed with his elder son, who wears a leopard skin over his shoulders and sandals, unlike his father, who appears with bare foot and uncovered shoulders. Ammon's son is carrying the Wāḥat, which is placed over the instruments to carry out the rite of opening the mouth. The same year when the tomb of Ammon was discovered, the so-called tomb of the crocodile was unveiled also. This tomb, which probably belongs to the late Ptolemaic or early Roman era, is formed by 3 rooms, 2 of them undecorated. It is believed that the 2 undecorated rooms belong to other tombs which were destroyed when this chamber was built. The walls, which are decorated, are covered with a poor quality plaster and are painted by an unskillful hand, unlike the tomb of Siamun. The paintings are very damaged. However, we can still appreciate the drawing of a crocodile in one of its walls. Probably at some point in Siwan's history, there was cult of some sort towards Subek, crocodile god. This god was worshipped at Fayoum during the Middle Kingdom and was considered as primordial deity and creator god. We have to take into account that the proximity of Fayoum could have been the reason for this event to happen. The Mountain of Death represents a new hope of finding more about Siwa's history. As new tombs are found, new traces of ancient Siwa's life are unveiled. The Jebel al-Mauta will still keep many mysteries until new excavations dig out the rest of its remains. Siwa today shows a different picture. Still famous for its dates, over 300,000 palm trees, and olives, 70,000 olive trees, Siwa remains isolated. Even though Siwa is isolated, it remains definitely part of Egypt. According to the State Information Service, Prime Minister Atif Abeid is assessing the possibility of opening Siwa to the world and making it an international investment location. Its fertile land could be soon used by the world's leading oil exporters. However, if the plan goes ahead, Siwa's isolation towards the rest of the world would end, and with it, the charm that makes this oasis such a fascinating place. One of the few oases with no camels, due to a grey fly that prevents them from thriving, Siwa is unique in every aspect. It looks unavoidable, however, the fact that modernity and progress are gradually stepping into Siwan society. Today we see the cart cars mixed with modern 4x4. The technology's age doesn't escape anything, even an isolated oasis like Siwa. Its peoples are gradually learning Arabic in elementary schools in order to understand the tourists that come along and to compete in the market to improve its economy. Even though food is cultivated the same way as it was hundreds of years ago and pottery is fired in the same ovens. The new generations that walk in school uniforms around Siwa's center of town are the ones who will have the choice of keeping its ancient way of life or joining the modern world.